In 2011, Ellen Greenberg's shocking death stunned Philadelphia, leaving haunting mysteries surrounding her tragic and sudden demise. Her case became one of America's most debated, balancing forensic evidence, unanswered questions, and heartbreaking family determination. Initially, investigators quickly labeled Ellen's death a suicide, despite alarming forensic details suggesting something far more sinister. The ruling seemed to ignore glaring inconsistencies, leaving her parents convinced their daughter was silenced by murder. For years, independent experts dismantled the suicide narrative, calling Ellen's wounds inconsistent with self-infliction under any circumstances. They highlighted spinal cord damage and cardiac wounds that would immediately incapacitate, preventing additional stabbings. Despite evidence, the official ruling remained unchanged, fueling outrage among her grieving family and curious true crime audiences. But then came 2025, a twist no one could have predicted, when the pathologist who ruled suicide finally spoke. In a stunning confession, he admitted Ellen's death fit homicide, not suicide, contradicting the very report he authored. His admission shocked the Greenbergs, confirming what they had argued for more than a painful decade. He explained 20 stab wounds, many lethal, could not align with suicide, no matter investigative theories presented. The confession validated countless independent forensic voices who insisted Ellen's case demanded reclassification as homicide. Yet there was a heartbreaking catch. His reversal carried no legal weight since he left the examiner's office. Ellen's death certificate still listed suicide, unchanged despite his shocking admission and overwhelming contradictory forensic evidence. This twist was bittersweet for her parents. Vindication of truth, but no accountability from institutions responsible. The pathologist explained he long struggled with guilt, haunted by the decision that contradicted his conscience and science. He admitted external pressures influenced his decision, hinting politics and reputation shaped science that should remain neutral. His words ignited suspicion of deeper corruption. Was this cover-up to protect powerful figures linked to Ellen? Families, journalists, and advocates demanded clarity, questioning who benefited from suppressing homicide and why evidence was dismissed. Ellen's parents expressed gratitude for his courage, but demanded authorities officially correct the record immediately. They stressed Ellen deserved justice in writing, not merely acknowledgement from one regretful professional. True crime communities reignited global attention, dissecting the confession as both validation and disturbing revelation. Podcasts, documentaries, and news reports returned to Ellen's story, framing the confession as watershed moment. The Greenbergs emphasized their daughter's memory deserved restoration, not continued dismissal under fraudulent suicide label. The pathologist admitted evidence was overwhelming, but he succumbed to pressure, fearing professional retaliation. His courage to speak in 2025 highlighted institutional failures where truth becomes secondary to politics. Yet even after this twist, Pennsylvania officials refused to reopen Ellen's case or change her records. Their silence infuriated supporters, revealing systemic reluctance to confront potential decades-long corruption. Ellen's story transformed into symbol of injustice, one confession exposing failures stretching across forensic systems nationwide. Experts emphasized, without accountability, confession alone cannot restore public trust or justice for victims like Ellen. The Greenbergs doubled efforts, launching campaigns, interviews, and petitions demanding recognition of homicide. They described bittersweet relief, truth finally spoken, but still locked outside courts, documents, and justice. The confession deepened public pressure, with supporters asking how many other deaths were misclassified under similar influence. Ellen's case became national talking point, spotlighting political interference in supposedly impartial forensic science. Her parents tirelessly advocated for reforms, seeking independent oversight, preventing similar tragedies in future. Their movement stressed integrity in death investigations because every family deserves truth, not institutional cover-ups. The 2025 twist gave new life to Ellen's story, ensuring it could not fade into obscurity. Documentaries shifted focus, centering on confession as crucial evidence of systemic rot. Podcasts broke down timeline, exploring contradictions that silenced pathologies until courage finally prevailed. His reversal demonstrated truth can be delayed but rarely silenced forever, even under crushing institutional pressure. Elon's story resonated with families facing similar denial, inspiring movements demanding change nationwide. Vigils were held, emphasizing Elon's name must live on until official justice delivered. The confession also exposed fragility of systems where one voice can alter trajectory of justice. Supporters warned, unless corrected, Ellen's case risked remaining symbol of institutional betrayal. Still, her parents refused silence, speaking louder, forcing officials to confront uncomfortable truths. They argued Ellen's story was not just personal but moral imperative, exposing broader corruption. The confession made excuses impossible, yet officials still clung to silence. Deepening suspicion, forensic professionals condemned inaction, urging state leaders to acknowledge homicide immediately. Public rallies echoed demands, turning Elon's tragedy into movement for forensic reform. The Greenberg's courage inspired countless others battling systemic injustice. They became symbols of perseverance against overwhelming institutions protecting themselves above citizens. Ellen's story gained international recognition, sparking debates on accountability and integrity. The confession reminded everyone, truth delayed is justice denied. But her parents kept pushing, unwilling to let truth die in bureaucracy. Their fight gained traction, petitions urging governor and officials to amend records. Thousands signed, proving Ellen's memory inspired collective action. The confession brought emotional closure for some, but not for her parents still awaiting justice. Ellen's case underscored urgency of reform. Death investigations must be insulated from influence. Advocates warned without change, more families risked enduring similar injustice. Media coverage framed the 2025 twist as turning point in true crime history. Yet, officials' silence proved institutions value reputation over truth. The Greenbergs responded with louder advocacy, refusing resignation. Their interviews reminded public Ellen was teacher, daughter, not statistic. They demanded recognition of her humanity alongside forensic truth. The confession ensured Ellen's story would not vanish but endure generations. It became lesson in persistence against denial and corruption. The pathologist's courage, though late, was spark reigniting fight. His admission proved cover-ups eventually crumbled beneath truth. Ellen's case inspired calls for national forensic oversight boards. Experts demanded systems prioritizing truth over politics. The Greenbergs pledged to fight until Ellen's certificate corrected. They vowed no rest until accountability achieved. Ellen's story symbolized love's strength against silence. The 2025 twist was validation and tragedy intertwined. Validation because truth spoken aloud, tragedy because action withheld. Still, supporters believed momentum could eventually force change. The confession fueled documentaries, books, and new investigations. Ellen's memory now lives as a reminder truth cannot be silenced. Her parents' unyielding fight became central legacy of her case. The 2025 twist leaves haunting question. Will justice ever truly come for Ellen Greenberg?